If you have a sombrero, throw it to the sky.
Even now, some 43 years later, it's hard to adequately explain the spectacle that came to be known as Fernandomania.
2-2 pitch.
And given today's diminishing attention spans and the sometimes relevant sapping influence of social media, one unlikely individual taking over a city and a sports world in the fashion this young Mexican pitcher did all those decades ago would be almost impossible to duplicate in this 21st century.
Got him. That's 11 strikeouts for Fernando Valenzuela.
What will always remain is the impact he created, the memories and the mythically inspiring stories, all delivered by a player who changed the way so many watched the game of baseball. The story of Fernando Valenzuela remains one of the most confounding in all of sports. Raised in a small city in the Mexican state of Sonora, he was one of 12 children and began playing in the Mexican leagues as a teenager, catching the attention of Dodgers longtime scout Mike Brito, who was in town to evaluate another player, but shifted his attention the moment he saw Fernando throw. The Dodgers bought out his Mexican League contract and signed him in 1979. He was called up at the end of the following season to work from the bullpen. And then, after two veteran arms went down in the subsequent spring training, Valenzuela was named the team's opening day starter in 1981. At that point, he was said to be 20 years old, relevant only because part of the Fernando folklore has always danced around the possibility that he was somewhat older than what he claimed.
Fastball popped in the air, foul. Garvey, I think, has a play. And Fernando has his 5th shutout. Unbelievable.
What was never in question is that Valenzuela embarked on one of the greatest starts to a career ever recorded, beginning his rookie campaign with a perfect 8-0 record. Los Angeles and all of baseball were officially hooked.
There's really not much left to say about this young man, is there?
Fernando had no shortage of wattage and charisma, and no more so than on the mound, where he delivered an impressive assortment of pitches born from a windup that appeared cumbersome, but proved highly effective. The right leg pulled up tight and high into his chest, while he pushed his hands and glove over his head, glancing upwards into the open sky before looking back to the plate and delivering. He was an immediate sensation, one that the Dodgers desperately needed for a fan base that watched its team lose 2 straight World Series in the 70s to the Yankees.
He's got to get out of the way. Wait a minute now, Tommy, right? You call Reggie out at second. Right, the guy's in front of the way.
Behind an invigorated Latino community that dubbed him El Toro, packed the seats every time he pitched, Valenzuela became the first rookie to lead the National League in strikeouts, while also garnering Rookie of the Year and Cy Young hardware. The Dodgers and their young superstar would ultimately win the 1981 World Series, vanquishing the pinstriped enemy by beating those same Yankees in 6 games, with Valenzuela winning 3 throughout the postseason. Several good seasons would follow, though none as inspiring as the first. And many wondered if manager Tommy Lasorda relied on Valenzuela too much and for too many innings of work. Still, there would be glimpses of his greatness which would shine in pressure moments.
Fernando ready, and the strike 2 pitch is hit back to the box, dribbling to second. Samuel on the bag, throws to first, double play. Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter.
After his release by the Dodgers in 1991, Fernando traded time between the Mexican leagues and the majors, posting one more solid season with the Padres in 1996, before retiring from the big leagues soon after, though he would occasionally still pitch in Mexico well into his 40s. And then in 2003, the old favorite would return to the Dodgers, this time as a color commentator.
Bien, Pepe, ¿qué tal? Gusto de estar nuevamente contigo aquí y con toda esa gente. Bienvenidos a esta serie, primer juego aquí en Valle.
The team finally retired his number 34 in 2023, a tribute long overdue for a figure so beloved by Dodger Nation, a family of baseball fans that has lost one of its patriarchs. So now, it's the moments and the memories that will live on, of his exhilaration and abandon, of that kick, the bashful glance to the heavens, and the often unhittable pitches. And for all of those things, we will always be in awe and always be grateful to have witnessed Fernandomania.